SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
You're listening to Sports Talk Mississippi On Demand, presented by Pearl River Resort. Escape to Choctaw, Mississippi and enjoy world-class gaming, the Dancing Rabbit Golf Club, and Geyser Falls Water Park. Escape to Pearl River Resort.
Sports Talk Mississippi is on the air. Sports Talk Mississippi is powered by C-Spire. Power your home or business with C-Spire Fiber. To learn more, visit supertalk.fm/C-Spire. C-Spire Fiber powers SuperTalk Mississippi. To the junction, in the Grove, and to the top. This is Sports Talk Mississippi. On your radio and in the game, right here on Super Talk Mississippi.
Wednesday already. Welcome in. Sports Talk Mississippi. Borky and Haydad with you. So glad you guys are with us. We got a lot to talk about today. As always, got basketball last night, and kind of, and basketball tonight as well. You've got sort of. As the portal world turns, and there's a little bit of news there that we will get to. We've got a draft declaration at the quarterback position. What does it mean? Maybe nothing, but it's still a significant conversation to be had. Again, at the quarterback position. David Cobb's going to join us here in just a little bit as well. All that and more with you on this Wednesday edition of the show. Glad you're here.
I always laugh when you're like, wow, it's just Wednesday. And I'm over here like, God, it's only Wednesday. Like you're the opposite. Like, wow, it's already Wednesday? And I'm like, it's only Wednesday? We're just two sides of the same coin, I guess. We are here in the Pearl River Resort studios, pearlriverresort.com. If it was Wednesday at Pearl River Resort, maybe I'd be a little bit happier because, I'd be out there doing all the stuff that I enjoy. And you can be doing that, too. A simple trip to pearlriverresort.com, and you can book your weekend stay and do whatever you like at Pearl River Resort. C-Spire text line open to you, 601-879-4395. Your team has you covered on the field. C-Spire has you covered everywhere else with the best technology for home working on, backed by local 24/7 customer support. Learn more at cspire.com. C-Spire, inspired by you.
So this isn't all that surprising, I don't think anyway, but you got this announcement. It was, live on CBS Sports HQ or one of those things. I don't know. Oregon quarterback Dante Moore announced that he is returning to school instead of entering the 2026 NFL draft. Bit of a raw prospect, only 1 year of being a starter. That is working against him, I suppose. But a lot of people thought that he was QB2 in this draft, which would have had him likely a first-round pick, although you've seen some years, like the Kenny Pickett year, where only one quarterback went in the first round. This is increasingly becoming one of those drafts, I suppose, because he has decided to stay in school. Betting on himself a little bit, probably didn't get the draft feedback that made him a surefire, like top 15 pick or whatever.
I mean, I saw a quote, I think from his father, said that everybody said first round. They never got a second round assessment.
Then what are you doing?
He doesn't want to play for the Jets.
He's
trying to avoid the Jets in this situation. I think somebody has talked to him and given him the Parcells quote and said the track record for quarterbacks in the NFL who make less than 20 college starts is bad.
Sports Center's where it was live.
You got to have experienced guys back there at the quarterback position, guys who have played 2+ seasons as the starter in college. Dante Moore does not have that. Come back next year. Oregon, Texas, and God help me, Ole Miss are going to be battling for the top 3 preseason next year if Chambliss comes back. And put yourself in position to win a national title, a Heisman Trophy, and be the first pick in the draft, possibly.
I've got some bad news.
He'll make money anyway. It's not like he's not
he's going to make $6-something million. I've got some bad news, though, for the doesn't want to play for a bad organization thing. Who do you think picks in the top 5 in the draft every year?
Well, it's usually the Jets.
The Jets, the Raiders are probably going to be back there. I mean, bad teams pick early in the draft. It's almost like that's
The Raiders are likely to go the Fernando Mendoza route, which is just hilarious.
Drafting Mendoza.
Just hilarious, right? The idea of Mendoza being in Las Vegas. Like, guys, where's a great place to get chicken tenders on the Strip? That's where he's going to be doing. The Browns, I don't know what they're going to do at quarterback. I'll be totally honest with you. I mean, they have Sanders, they have Gabriel. I don't know. I don't know where they go there. The Giants aren't looking to do quarterback right now. The Commanders aren't looking to do quarterback. The Jets are going to, but I mean, I guess that's going to be Ty Simpson now.
Yeah, and we'll talk about Ty Simpson later. I'm confused at some of he said it, so maybe there's no reason to doubt it. I am a little confused at some of the stuff that's been out there about Ty Simpson. Maybe we'll get to it later. Mm-hmm. The obvious question, though, is what does this mean for Trinidad Chambliss? Because this removes one quarterback that would have been taken in front of him in the draft. If he would have gone, would have been taken over Chambliss, regardless of where. It would have happened.
Right.
So what does this mean? Does this mean that now he needs to stop the legal fight and go because he's going to be a first-round pick? No, I've seen a lot of NFL reaction. Not a single person said this makes him a first-round pick. He's not a first-round pick. He's got size working against him. He's got experience working against him. That's been some of the feedback he's gotten. He's only done it once, really.
Yeah. So what were we just talking about?
Very, very similar. And also doesn't see the middle of the field as well as NFL teams want him to.
That's the height.
That's probably part of the. Yeah, he gets a lot of balls batted down at the line of scrimmage. That is the knock on him in particular. So this doesn't make him a first-round pick. Does it make him a second? Does he move up to QB3?
This is not a shot at Chambliss, but gosh, dog, this is a weak quarterback draft.
It's a horrible quarterback draft.
There just isn't anybody there. I mean, and I think, you look back at the beginning of the season, I think we all thought Arch might be good enough to just go ahead and come on out.
If Arch played the whole season like he did the last 2 weeks, he'd be
out. Sellers, we thought, might be out.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think my way around the country.
Cade Klubnik.
That's a good one. Has a lot of first rounders. Nico might have been a guy that people.
Aller got hurt. He's always was stinky, but the NFL teams love him.
Buzz because he's got the build. Instead, man, I'll just say this: I'm really glad Tyler Shuck looks like he's good because I wouldn't want to be in this draft looking for a quarterback right now. I'm glad that the Saints don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, me too. So. Declaration Day.
I mean, it's been like 2 weeks.
Is coming.
What are you doing?
Declaration Day is coming. And does this change that decision? Again, from what I was told by somebody that absolutely would know these things, was that the NFL feedback that he had gotten was nobody even really said second round. It was all. Maybe get into the third, a lot of mid to late round stuff, which makes the legal fight worthwhile financially.
Mm-hmm.
So how much does this change? I do not know that answer. I think that you have to decide quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they can figure out very fast how much this changes things. They ask the same people that they asked the other day.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Moore's not going. Does this mean my guy is a possible second-round pick? If that answer is still no, then you keep fighting it legally.
Mm-hmm. But I got to say this, and so Walker Howard isn't coming back to be Ole Miss's starting quarterback.
He's not coming back to play quarterback at all, really.
He's coming back
to hold a clipboard.
Yeah, he's kind of doing the Gardner Minshew thing before Gardner Minshew got the job, the offer at Washington State. But that Deuce Knight, they pursued Lagway. We'll talk about the Simpson thing. Apparently, Ole Miss. By the way, Ole Miss fans, a lot of crying about tampering with players, and then how does he get a $4 million offer? How did that happen? But that's out there. I don't know how confident Ole Miss is that this is going to happen because they are throwing out some stuff to quarterbacks.
Well, you have to prepare.
You got to do due diligence, but
the Lagway thing, they brought him in. It was never going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Ever. I don't know why they even spent the resources on it, to be honest with you.
I mean, it's worth it. I guess it was worth it if you could have flipped him.
It wasn't going to happen.
And I didn't think it was either, but it could have.
Yeah, Howard's a non-factor in this discussion.
He's just there.
He's going to hang out and start his coaching career.
Yeah.
The Simpson part of this I have a lot of questions about that, hey, Dad, because I have not seen or heard a single person, not one person, connected to Ole Miss or in the agent world or anything, mention that they were going after Ty Simpson. Doesn't mean that they weren't, but I haven't seen a single person or heard a single person say that until Simpson claims that he got a $4 million offer to go to Ole Miss and a $6 million offer to go to Miami or whatever. I was taken aback. I was like, I have not heard that at all. I mean, we said here during the season, I heard that Lagway and Ole Miss there's conversations happening there.
Yeah.
That Kiffin was infatuated by his talent ceiling. Mm-hmm. And that there was a connection with those two during the season. So do I not know anybody anymore? Because I've not heard a single person mention that Ole Miss was after him.
Huh?
But apparently they were. Sports Talk Mississippi. Weird stuff unfolding. We'll keep talking about it when we come back in the Pearl River Resort studio.
You're hearing Sports Talk Mississippi.
What? This is so
awesome on Super Talk Mississippi.
All right, so here is the quotes from Ty Simpson, obtained by Chris Lowe. Miami was kind of like, all right, we're moving on. So he claimed Tennessee, Miami, and Ole Miss were offering $4 million, and Miami upped it to $6.5 million. And here's his quote. Miami was kind of like, all right, we're moving on, and then they lost out on Sam Leavitt and came back with that big number, Simpson said. And then Ole Miss called again and said they could match it. Also, he said, quote, everybody would just remember me as the guy who took all this money and went to Miami or Tennessee for his last year, but I was a captain. I put my hand and footprints in the cement at Denny Chimes. I would have lost everything I built at Alabama. So that's a good quote there. He's going to go to the NFL. I do also like and appreciate a player just being very transparent about this. I know transparency is causing some problems, but I like this. Talk about it. Nobody can enforce it. You literally cannot enforce tampering. You can't enforce tampering.
Unenforceable.
It's an unenforceable thing. Mm-hmm. So talk about it. What were my options? Hey, guys, here were my options.
But don't complain about it.
Don't complain about it.
Right.
Because
you're doing it too.
Tampering is just part of the process.
Yeah.
I'm surprised, frankly, that according to Ty Simpson, Ole Miss was willing to pay him $1 million more than Trinidad? $1 million more for a guy that's not as good at the college level? I know he's a better pro prospect, but at the college level, he's not as good. That doesn't pass the smell test to me. That doesn't make sense to me.
Well, maybe they just looked at it as like, with Trinidad, they can get a little bit of the hometown discount. Plus, Trinidad not as big.
And you got to fight the legal side of it too. I guess.
Trinidad not as big a prospect, right?
Yeah, but who cares? It's about what you can do on the college field.
Well, no, what I'm just saying though is like $3 million to Trinidad is a lot more than he's probably going to make from the NFL. Ty Simpson could very easily be a first round pick. He could be a top 15 pick. Right now he's QB2 on the board.
He'll be a top 10 pick.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, you got to throw a little more gas on the fire.
Somebody says, I take the Simpson news as positive, trying to get the best possible situation for your football team. Tide has turned towards Chambliss returning, but if they had been fishing for him, but they had to have been fishing for him before that. Yes, I mean, until you get the final answer, you still have to operate as if the answer is no to some degree. You can't get caught with your pants down. You have Deuce Knight coming in, and somebody asked, wasn't Walker Howard a top prospect coming out of high school? He was, but they're not all hits. He's gotten hurt. He's gotten beat out in competitions. It's being a starting Division I quarterback's just not really going to happen for him.
Right.
It's how it goes sometimes. But are they concerned, especially now with this more news that he might go? I don't know. I do not know. I know Tom Mars thinks he's got a slam dunk. Boy, he's tweeting. And his tweets are very compelling. Yeah. He sure knows how to make a case. It's almost like he's a highly successful lawyer that has a track record of winning a lot. But I don't know what this means. I just know that an answer has to come soon. I mean, they have to know soon. Portal closes in 2 days. Now, just because it closes doesn't mean that you can't still recruit players. They just have to be in there first. So if there's a quarterback out there that may not be in the portal that you want, you got to get him into the portal.
Yeah. That's the interesting part, right? Where it's like, how do you get these guys in? You got to tamper.
At worst, Ole Miss's floor at starting quarterback is, albeit a very unproven but highly talented Deuce Knight.
Yes.
If he wasn't on board,
you'd be in trouble. There's no getting around it.
Oh, my gosh.
You'd be in trouble.
I mean, who would you be going after right now? If you didn't have Deuce Knight, who on earth? I mean, I guess they engaged with this kid from SC that went to LSU, so maybe you would have gone harder after him if you didn't have Deuce.
Last week that Trinidad wasn't going to be in, maybe Levitt.
You get in on the Levitt sweepstakes.
You get in on that. You could have gotten in on Raiola. I mean, say what you want, yeah, but
I know he's really talented. And then you do something different with Lagway, maybe. Although apparently
you might go after Lagway a little harder there for sure.
Apparently, those meetings don't go well with him.
Jackson Arnold? No, I'm just kidding. Prediction.
You still get Knight, and then I guess you get another talented guy without experience. You just have to go without experience.
Yeah. Prediction. Jackson Arnold with Dan Mullen. It'll work.
It'll work.
He's like Nick Fitzgerald. It'll work.
He's not going to win the Heisman or anything.
No, but he'll be plenty good. They'll win games.
He'll put up good numbers.
Yeah, agreed.
Good stats, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah, portal closing in a couple of days. We will do the As the Portal World Turns here in a little bit.
Let's be clear about when we talk about that, because I think people are confused. The portal closes in terms of people can go in.
Correct.
Still got a few more weeks. Basically, you have until classes start at your university, or until the last drop dead date for classes is. I think here at State it's February 2nd. I don't know when it is at Ole Miss.
It's similar, I'm sure.
It's similar, right? You have until then to get into the portal and get to a team. So when we say the portal is closing, it doesn't mean that your team is done getting players.
Yeah.
It means that your team is done losing players at that point.
Yes.
By and large.
Mm-hmm. And there will be, it's happening at Ole Miss right now, and I'm sure it's happening at all of your favorite schools. Last minute, I need more money stuff happening.
Yeah. Oh, it's 100% happening. It's hey, I may have to get in if you can't, You
got the leverage.
Yeah.
Hey, this school and this school is talking to me, and if you don't, they're telling me that they're going to pay me that, and when you're going to only pay me this.
I saw an interesting stat. It said that of the 10,000 plus that entered the portal, there's 6,800 players right now who have not found the destination. There are not 6,800 available spots in FBS. Not even close. So you got probably 4,000 players that were at FBS schools that will be at FCS schools at best next year.
Maybe and down to Division II,
some might never
college.
play football again. That's just the decisions that they made.
I understand why they do it. I don't like that they include walk-ons in the portal. It's you're counting this school has 40 players in the portal and 15 of them don't even take practice snaps. I mean, come on, let's have a little bit more Let's put a little bit
more
context
this text
there.
From the C Spire text line. I like that my team hit on all transfers and my rival missed on them all.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's very true. Yes. Your team's portal class is full of guys that are going to make big contributions next year. Your rival's class is full of guys who are total misevaluations.
They're not good.
Not good at all.
There's a reason they were in the portal.
That's right.
My guy, the reason he was in the portal is he wanted to go to my school the whole time.
Exactly.
Do all these guys demanding more money have agents? Every single one of them.
Yep.
Of course. If I was in line to make that much money, I'd have an agent too. Dealing with contracts and all that stuff, yeah. I would. I would for sure.
I mean, it's just like any other job of this nature. You need to have somebody, who's out there taking care of your interests.
Skip wants to know if we will change the name to As the Portal Closes for the last 24 hours.
Very possible.
We need to have like a countdown clock or something, like 24.
Yeah.
Oh, man. It is something. It is something. So, I mean, you lose players, you get players.
We can't do that, though, because we got to use the countdown clock, the 24 countdown clock for when Jack Bauer pitches. We got to save that for him. We can't gimmick infringe on that one.
Yeah. And this is true. They said there are 23 fewer players in the portal this year. There are fewer players in the portal this year by about almost a fourth. In part because
crazy, yeah.
I think it's twofold. They at the NCAA in their little convention, they said it's exclusively about how they allowed rev share, and because we did this, I think in part it's something that you mentioned, hey, Dad. A lot of the word's out that a lot of guys hit the portal and they got nowhere to go.
Yeah.
And if you're a player that didn't contribute to your team and you leave, now sometimes coaches push them out too. That's the dark side about this. There's players for State that hit the portal. There's players for Ole Miss that hit the portal today and yesterday that we're not going to play.
Right.
And they were told that. But a lot of these guys hit the portal thinking that they're going to have all these options because that's what their uncle or whoever told them that they would, and then they have no home, and maybe cautionary tales are starting to scare guys from doing that. But who knows? I know David Cobb's going to join us on the Farm Bureau guest line when we come back. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team.
From the Seabrook Dot.
Come on. Are we going to do this?
Back to Sports Talk, Mississippi.
Keep rolling. 3, 2, 1.
Super Talk, Mississippi.
Welcome back, Sports Talk Mississippi. We go to the Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team, Mississippi Farm Bureau. You know him, you love him. I said, you know him, you love him, like McLovin.
Like McLovin,
yeah. David Cobb joins us, CBS Sports, on your radio. David, let's start with the most pressing question of the college football times right now. Who would win in a game, 2025 Indiana or 2019 LSU?
Oh, boy, it's really hard to pick against this Indiana team. And you'd love to have a chance at them if you were Ole Miss, but honestly, as good as that Indiana team is, like Miami might get out there and wish, man, I wish this game wouldn't happen in Miami. I wish our home fans weren't having to watch this because Indiana's just that dominant, and there's really no holes. I mean, that LSU offense in 2019 was unbelievable, and the LSU offense was better than this Indiana offense, but defensively, even without Stephen Daly, these Hoosiers, man, they're nasty, and they just don't beat themselves. So I think the LSU 2019 team maybe a little flashier, but I think this year's Indiana team is the most complete team that we've seen, certainly in the college football playoff era.
How did this happen?
The $1 million question, the Magic Man, Kurt Signetti. I I think a lot of it has to do with his path. I think it's very unique, the path that he took, because early on in Nick Saban's tenure, Curt Cignetti was a position coach at Alabama. And as we've seen so many times over the years, those guys go on to become coordinators. And then because they've been touched by the magic hand of Nick Saban, they become head coaches. And some of them have success. Some of them do not. And I think there's something to be said for, yes, getting that Nick Saban experience and that magic touch of the GOAT, but then going out and learning how to be a head coach outside of the magnifying glass that is the SEC and the Power Four at large. And so that path that Curt Cignetti took, it makes him very unique among all the college football coaches out there, especially the ones who worked under Nick Saban. And I think because he went to D2, and then he went to the FCS, and then he went to the G5, he learned what worked for him, learned what didn't, learned how he wanted to organize a staff and how he wanted to run practices, and he got well over a decade's worth of practice before he got the big job. And I can't think of another Nick Saban disciple who's taken a path like that.
David, it feels like the Indiana story is the one that everybody's kind of latched onto, but isn't Carson Beck's redemption arc kind of another great story? Is there a possible fairy tale ending for him here and holding the national championship trophy in Miami?
Yeah, I think to a certain extent that story can be highlighted or accentuated by what happens in the national championship game. But to me, the redemption arc hit its peak or its zenith in the fourth quarter against Ole Miss in the Fiesta Bowl, when in the latter half of that quarter he had to lead a couple of touchdown drives in order for Miami to win that game, and he did it. He scored the game-winning touchdown to get Miami to the national title game. And when Miami was struggling in the middle of the season and lost to SMU and lost to Louisville, and Carson Beck threw a combined 6 interceptions in that game, I didn't think a story like this or an ending like this was possible, even if they go out and get trounced by Indiana. So kind of in my mind, Carson Beck rewrote his college legacy against Ole Miss. And, you know, maybe I'll change my mind if he goes out there and throws 5 interceptions against Indiana. But as things stand now, it's all kind of like house money for Carson Beck, because he outlasted Georgia in this college football playoff field, and he's the one who got him to this point with the way he played in the semifinals. So, it is a surprising sort of redemption angle there with Carson Beck. But if you're asking me, like, do I think he's the better quarterback in this matchup? You know, no, I don't. I think Fernando Mendoza is, and I'm not even sure it's close.
Speaking of quarterbacks, we got the word earlier today that Dante Moore is going to come back for his for another year at Oregon. We know Arch Manning is coming back for another year at Texas. Ole Miss fans are very hopeful that Trinidad Chambliss will be back for another year in Oxford. When you look at those 3 guys going into next season, who do you like the best? And could that be your preseason top 3? As you know, I know we're about to finish up this season. It's never too early, though, to look ahead to next one.
Yeah, no doubt. No, I just think it's absolutely amazing that the guy who a lot of NFL draft analysts are projecting as a potential number 2 overall pick is going to come back to college. I mean, when honestly, I've been thinking about this. I'm probably blanking on somebody, but I mean, this doesn't happen very often. You know, I think about like Peyton Manning choosing to come back to Tennessee for his senior season when he would have been likely the number 1 overall pick, and Dante Moore turning down that possibility. I think it shows you the power of the NIL era, and honestly, kind of like his maturity, the fact that he realizes he can get better. But what's interesting for me with Oregon, and what keeps me maybe from being all in on Oregon with Dante Moore in 2026 is the fact that they're changing over both their coordinator positions. And so they're losing Tosh Lupoy to Cal, and they're losing Will Stein to Kentucky, and they're promoting from within. That could work. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. So that's my lingering question on Oregon. How do those internal promotions work out? Because I mean, other than that, I mean, really, like they're getting some of their guys back. It's kind of in some ways like Ohio State after the 2023 season, where they had a lot of really good players who were draft eligible, who would have been drafted, who chose to come back. And I think we're starting to see that materialize here with Oregon, and that certainly makes them dangerous. But like that Ohio State team, which also had to replace 2 coordinators, that's not always going to be a smooth ride.
When we think about Lane Kiffin down at LSU, and Lord knows we think about him probably way too much on this show, and maybe in college football in particular. 3 quarterbacks signed this week. Obviously, Sam Leavitt is the guy that we'll look for next year, and then Longstreet will be the guy for the future. What do you think about what Kiffin's done down there to reshape the quarterback position in Baton Rouge?
Yeah, it's honestly, it's impressive. Like that is what he does. Is he goes out and gets talented quarterbacks, and he makes them into really great players. Like that's his track record, and it goes back to Jonathan Crompton at Tennessee, who was terrible before Lane Kiffin got there. And the beautiful thing now, if you're Lane Kiffin, is you don't have to take the struggling player from the last coach's roster. You can go out and get the one you want. And so Sam Leavitt, obviously, highest rated prospect, period, at 24/7, regardless of position in the transfer portal. So that's an awfully nice piece to have at your disposal as you're trying to build a program. So, no, I'm not shocked at all by anything Lane Kiffin's done, but I am a little surprised that there hasn't been a more significant exodus from Ole Miss. And I think you got to give Pete Golding and his staff a lot of credit for building a culture there over the month or so after Kiffin left that really transcends what Kiffin built. And you got to give a lot of credit to the Grove Collective and to the folks around that program who rallied in the aftermath of Lane Kiffin's departure to really ensure that Ole Miss's success moving forward is going to be sustainable. And so I think it's pretty incredible, honestly, because I expected there to be, just looking at it from the outside and not knowing maybe as much as you guys do locally, I expected there to be 9, 10, maybe more guys going from Ole Miss. And that's just not been the case at all.
I can tell you LSU expected there to be 9 or 10 of them for sure. Last thing, I think you already hinted at it, but we won't get to talk to you between now and Monday. Who wins and why?
Well, I actually think Miami is equipped to make it a game. I think they're physical enough to contend with Indiana on the lines of scrimmage, and they've got a nasty, big, mean offensive line. I mean, Ole Miss fans know all this because they just saw it. Their defense is, really better than it played against Ole Miss. I mean, Ole Miss did a really good job of mitigating the impact of Ruben Bain and Hakeem Messidor, and but all in all, I mean, you look at Miami, they're about as physically equipped to contend with Indiana as anybody. But I'm not betting against Indiana in the end. I think this will be a closer game than any game Indiana has played in the college football playoff. It might in some ways resemble the Big Ten championship game. Indiana beat Ohio State 13-10 in that game. So this could be something along those lines. I think this is a potentially a very good game, but Indiana is battle-tested. They've been in tight games. They've always come out on the other side of it. Miami a little shakier. Like they played well in the semifinal to escape that one late in the fourth quarter, but they have, under Mario Cristobal for many years now, struggled to be a team that gets it across the finish line in close games on a regular basis. Indiana does not have that problem. So even if it is a close game, I like Indiana in the end.
David, you're the man. Thank you so much for your time. We'll talk to you again soon.
Yep, thank you, guys.
David Cobb of CBS Sports joined us on the Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team. Little national championship coming up on Monday. Ratings record possibly being broken in that game.
You think?
It'll be a top 5 national championship of all time.
Really?
Mm-hmm. They count them a little bit differently now.
The ratings out of the semifinals would make me think different.
Not Indiana's though.
Indiana was okay.
From the Venable Glass.
Come on, SuperTalk Mississippi. Check this out. Are you ready? Yeah! Sports Talk Mississippi.
Sports Talk Mississippi. Back with you here on a Wednesday. Brian Haydad, Michael Borky. Sports Talk Mississippi is brought to you in part by AgriGold. AgriGold believes progress in the field starts with seed and the people who plant it. That's why AgriGold focuses 100% on seed, delivering trusted genetics and solutions to help you get more out of every acre. Contact your local AgriGold representative, Kerry Baker, at 662-836-7417 to learn more, or you can visit agrigold.com to explore seed solutions and agronomy results. Plant your legacy today with AgriGold. What are you sighing about? What's wrong with you?
It's more about Mississippi State had a 14-point lead at one point in the game last night, and fans were headed for
basketball.
In basketball.
Just swerve in.
Yeah, that's because I hate it for fans in this state. These teams should be better than they are.
Yes.
Ole Miss a 10-point underdog tonight. I know Georgia's good. It's at Georgia, whatever. But we shouldn't have to want to avoid basketball right now.
Yeah,
it's January 14th.
State versus Alabama. That's 8 straight losses for State. Jans has never beaten Nate Oates and doesn't look like he's close to doing it. And they'll play each other later this year in Tuscaloosa, and I'm not totally sure the margin of victory won't be worse than it was last night. I don't think State's going to beat any good teams this year. Like, you look at the SEC, right? Can State beat Ole Miss this weekend? Sure.
Yeah, they can.
Can they beat Missouri? Yeah. Can they beat LSU? Sure. Can they beat South Carolina? Yeah, I think so. But can they beat Florida and Tennessee and Vanderbilt and Arkansas? No, I don't think they can win those games. So, whatever small hope whatever small hope you had about possibly making a run here and getting into the tournament, it's just minuscule odds at this point. They will have to win 2 or 3 games that you're just not going to predict. Never mind, they got to win all of the games that you would call toss-ups. They have to win 2 or 3 games that you would say they were a big underdog.
Yeah. So what happened last night? I mean, and Alabama makes 35% of their threes. That's a good shooting night, but they scored 97 points, and they didn't go 50, 40, 90.
Right. And look, that's about what they shoot, right? They average 97 a game. They give up about 83 a game. That game played right into Alabama's hands. State's just disjointed, both on offense and defense. Hubbard didn't play his best game at all. A lot of his points came when the game was already out of hand. Epps wasn't very good. McGee wasn't great. Their post presence, Quincy Ballard had 17 rebounds. Again, most of that in garbage time. I just don't get Ballard. That is the biggest human being I've ever seen. And I went to college. When I was at State, Dampier was there. I've stood next to Eric Dampier. Big guy. Ballard is bigger than him. But he does not play like it. He does not play like it. I thought Chor was good in the first half, but couldn't get anything going in the second. Jamarian Davis-Fleming went down with an injury. Epps was injured. We don't know their status going into this weekend's game with Ole Miss. It's 2 games in a row like that where you come out, you look great. They look great the first 10 minutes against Kentucky, the first 10 minutes against Alabama. And I think, so it's 29-15, and from there Alabama went on a 56-20 run. That's pretty bad. So what I'll say is this, there's 2 sides to every coin. I go into a little more detail about this on the podcast tomorrow, and maybe I will later tonight as well. But it's okay to say that this is a disappointing year, that they should be better, that Jans has done a poor job this year. But then you got some people like this guy on the text line. Jans should be fired. He is mediocre at best. Load the briefcase and go get Rick Pitino from St. John's. Guys, think before you talk. If Mississippi State in a 4-year period...
Pitino's not leaving.
He's not leaving to go to Mississippi State. But never mind that. If in a 4-year period at Mississippi State you go to the NCAA tournament 3 times, you're doing pretty good. All right? This isn't Duke. This isn't North Carolina or Kansas. 3 and 4. And if you bounce back next year and it's 4 and 5, that's just the best run in school history is all that is. So, yeah, Jans has had a bad year. It's disappointing. I get that. But there are so many Mississippi State fans who are just like, who do you think you are? It's not you don't cheer for UConn. Like, you're allowed to have a down year and back. Yeah, they missed. They missed on the evaluations. I don't think there's any getting around that fact. It's concerning. If we get to this point next year and this team is bad, we can start having the hard conversation. But right now, it's look at Jans's track record as a coach. Everything suggests that this year is an anomaly.
How do they get their defensive identity back?
It's a great question because they didn't have it last year either. And I don't know the answer to that.
Because that's the disappointing part about this last year and a half is you expect Jans teams to be tough, and this one hasn't been.
His high school kids to start to develop, the guys you bring in this year and next year. Because you think about like that defensive identity you were talking about, Tolu Smith and DJ Jeffries, Cam Matthews, Howland recruited those guys. They had just been at Mississippi State. Howland was a defense first coach. So I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Making a 64-team tournament is not that great in my opinion. There's 350 teams in Division I. You're in the top 20% if you make the tournament. I mean, and the state's
you get auto bids to teams that are not on your
state's
plane.
State's an at-large. They're even better than that. You just don't know what you're talking about. It would be the easier way to describe this.
We'll pick this back up after the news. Hour 1 in the book, Sports Talk Mississippi, Pearl River Resort Studio.
Let the broadcasting of the disturbed continue.
Sports Talk Mississippi. Super Talk Mississippi.
Sports Talk Mississippi, starting the 4 o'clock hour here. What's up on Sports Talk Mississippi? We're going to continue this basketball discussion. We're going to look into the portal to see who's headed where. Got some more college football talk and college basketball talk. We're going to look around the SEC, the scores from last night, and the games coming up this evening. What's up on Sports Talk Mississippi is brought to you by Ag Up. Start the new year with a compact tractor that's a proven performer and get a great deal. You get it all at Ag Up Equipment. Right now. I don't know I don't know whether there's an A in right. I don't. But right now, you can get 0% financing for 48 months on select John Deere 1 through 4 series compact tractors. You can't beat these workhorses or the 0% financing. Stop by your local Ag Up or visit them at agup.com. Your down-home dealer. Offer ends 1/31/26. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Good text here. Thinking about Jans. That's why Eric Spoelstra's comments about people not being given an opportunity to work through things hit even harder. Arguably, no one understands that struggle better than he does. The Heat gave him leeway in some mediocre seasons, and their faith paid off. While there are obvious exceptions to this mindset, Spoelstra simply wishes more coaches everywhere in sports this side of the pond would be given a longer rope. And here's the problem, too, that some of these coaches are running into. They don't have rosters that provide them the opportunity to build and develop. Excuse me. It works, right? Some years you hit. Ole Miss basketball last year made the Sweet 16 for the second time ever. Bunch of portal dudes. I mean, that's how they did it. But you had to replace the entire roster. I mean, 2 guys from last year's team remain. And so it's different with basketball and football. Because football, yes, there's a lot of roster turnover, but let's say you lose 50 guys.
50.
Which is a lot. Yeah. But you lose 50 guys to out of eligibility and 30 more hit the portal. Because of the roster limits being what they are, you keep 40. So there's a lot of people that are there, familiar with it. There's a lot of new faces, but there's still a lot of new. Still a lot of familiar. Like this Ole Miss team this year had to replace a bunch of starters. But there were still a lot of guys on that team that have been there. And you can establish or maintain a level of this is how we do things here. In basketball, when you're replacing 14 of your 15 players or 13 of your 15 players, you have to start all over again every year. And so some years it'll work. Some places operate a little bit differently, that you're able to keep more players, you have more money to spend, stuff like that. But, I mean, how many new faces are in the rotation for Mississippi State and Ole Miss this year? A metric ton. And so
the easiest way to put this is if you come to the game in Starkville and you watch the pregame hype video, there's only 2 players worth of highlights because that's all they've got.
How about
they've
that?
got Hubbard and Sean Jones. Everybody else is out of the portal. So this is what I say with Jans. Jans was 5 years at New Mexico State. He made 3 NCAA tournaments. He would have made 4 if the 2020 tournament had been canceled due to COVID because that team was 25-6 and had gone undefeated in conference play. They were easily going to make the tournament, right? At Mississippi State, he's first 3 years, 3 NCAA tournaments. This year is a down year. So in reality, this guy should have in 9 years of coaching, he should have 7 NCAA tournaments. His 2020-21 team would not have made it. This team's not going to make it. So twice in his coaching career, once he's gotten his programs going, he's missed. Does that not suggest that this year is the outlier and not the harbinger of things to come?
Yeah.
I mean, let's just have a little bit of common sense, shall we? Again, next year, if they're bad again, absolutely have the discussion. But 1 down year and 4 at Mississippi State is. I mean, I hate to be the bearer of bad news if you're a person who thought that Mississippi State is like Duke, but it's okay sometimes Mississippi State's going to miss the NCAA tournament. Sometimes Ole Miss is as well. And
this year.
Yeah. And, now I will say this. With Beard, it's a little different. Now, his first year at Ole Miss, he had to completely rebuild that roster.
And they still weren't bad.
No, they were competitive. They didn't have enough depth in SEC play, as I recall. Like, once the conference got going, they were just like, we just don't have enough guys. They were really good last year. They're taking a step back this year. Next year, I expect Beard to be back in the tournament, if he's at Ole Miss. So, and Jan's the same way. I would tell you preseason, my expectations to be in the tournament. If you're not there, then we'll have the hard discussion. But the idea that in 1 year he's down because he missed a couple of evaluations. Look, it's not great to miss your evaluations, all right? But Quincy Ballard was a guy who had other teams after him. And, there was nothing about watching him play last year at Wichita State that made you think this guy's game won't translate to the SEC. But it hasn't. Same thing with Chor. That guy was great for Bucky when he was at Samford. Didn't play well last year at Kansas State, and there were some problems with the coaching staff there, so he sat out. And he's played better these past few games, but he was awful in some of those early games that State lost. Epps and McGee can be streaky. But at the end of the day, if this team misses the tournament, they'll miss it for the first time in 3 years. And if they're back next year and they make it 4 out of 5, well, that's just the best stretch in school history.
Yeah.
I don't see how you can sit there with a straight face and be like, Jans needs to be fired. That's just I just want to put it like this. And somebody made this point on the On3 message board. They were like, can't win the big one. Recruiting isn't up to par. We should get rid of him. That's what they said about Dan Mullen. How did that turn out? Maybe sometimes you just have a good coach and they have a bad year. You got to learn to accept that. It's one thing if this Mississippi State was
It does
Georgia.
happen. Bad years can, especially in this era with roster volatility.
If
you're going to miss
football and you have a year where you go 6-6. Okay, I get the angst on that one. Mississippi State basketball having 1 down year in 3 and 1 year down year in 4 is not worth the amount of anger I'm seeing online about this.
Yeah, you think part of it is football wasn't good again, and so there's just like a lot of intense
everybody's just excited for next month at this point.
They're
just waiting for it. But and look, I get it. They had back-to-back games where they had a double-digit lead and they end up losing by 20 plus. Right? That's embarrassing. I didn't lose by 20 plus last night, but they were down by that, and before they scored a couple of late buckets. It's frustrating that he's 0-8 against Alabama. It's also frustrating the SEC has continually made Mississippi State play Alabama twice. I get that they're the closest teams in the conference, but let's move on here. It's frustrating that you can't beat Kentucky in the regular season. I get all that. But this year's just a wash. Next year, we'll tell the tale of Chris Jans. Sometimes you just got to be willing to sometimes you got to be willing to wash your hands of a team in the middle of the season a little bit. And if they come back and they play well and they make a run in the SEC tournament or something, I don't know. That's fine. But right now, you should be watching these games going, okay, Well, as long we'll see what happens next year. That's where they are. Yeah, Marty from Portland, I laugh at this conversation. Matt McMahon at LSU hasn't sniffed the tournament in 4 years. He's going to get fired. That's somebody you can fire. He hasn't made the tournament in 4 years. He's not going to make it this year in all likelihood. That's somebody who's going to get canned, not a guy who made the tournament the first 3 years he was at the school.
Yeah, for sure. Tonight in Athens, Ole Miss a 10.5-point underdog at Georgia, and They showed signs of life, beating Missouri at home. And also, they played well for about 35 minutes against Arkansas, who's a good team. This team is starting to show a pulse. We'll find out tonight how realistic that pulse is. I don't think you necessarily – they're not making the tournament, right? They're last in the net in the SEC. Can that recover? Sure, but they've got to win a bunch of games. And – basketball doesn't allow you to win a bunch of games when you're this far behind anyway.
Right.
So I think the goal for this team is just to breathe life back into the program, make yourselves interesting again. And tonight can go a long way to doing that if you can somehow pull an upset. But even if you can just play well and just continue to show that you are steadily improving as a basketball team, there are some guys, which, again, the portal is what it is, that have eligibility after this year that can stay and help you. But again, full rosters turnover. But tonight, in this game in particular, Georgia, they score a lot, does Georgia. They don't shoot it particularly well, though. Not a great three-point shooting team. They do their damage. They will rebound you to death. They average 8 block shots and 9 steals per game. So they'll get after you defensively. Ole Miss have a difficult task on their hands. Just can they continue to show life? Can Dia build on the way he played? Can A.J. Storr be efficient again? You need those two guys. You're not winning games like this or being competitive in games like this without your two best players playing like your two best players. So a lot on their shoulders tonight. But that's what's on the line for Ole Miss moving forward this season is can you just get people to be interested in you again after a pretty disappointing, at absolute best, non-conference slate and start to conference play. Sports Talk Mississippi. We'll be back.
From the Venable Glass.
Here we go. Sports Talk Mississippi. Here's more. Super Talk Mississippi.
Welcome back, Sports Talk Mississippi. Borky and Haydad with you. Really glad that you guys are with us as always. We have gotten this sent to us a few times, and so now we'll open this can of worms. We got this on the C Spire text line. What's this about? I even had a friend text me just now about the same thing. It is from an account called @CJFWrites on Twitter, and he says, term sheets and contracts have leaked internally at Ole Miss. Some players aren't happy about new guys, and returning guys are making more than they are. Most notable name is T.J. Daugherty, who the Rebels are scrambling to retain. One look at his bio tells you that he is somebody that claims that he has written in the past for a lot of name publications, does not currently have one. He is stealing information from message boards. That is what this is. This is taken off of an Ole Miss message board. However, that's not coming from like a random poster on an Ole Miss message board. That is, apparently there is some legitimacy to that. This guy is not the go-to for information, though. He is taking that from message boards and not crediting where it's coming from. He is stealing that information.
Long thought that CJF Writes, is that correct?
Well,
it was the first source for my college football information.
But you know people, man, that it's...
Had somebody hit me up yesterday, and they're like, is this state to the ACC stuff real, or is that just burner stuff? I'm like...
That was a guy making a joke about...
Like, somebody have just... Can we just have... We have to be smarter, guys. We have to be.
It was like that... the Trinidad's opting out of the playoff thing. But, I mean...
Well, it's also like the Ole Miss is hiring the homeless and giving them $30 an hour.
Well, Facebook AI,
yeah.
There's a reason that they have not announced that TJ Daugherty has signed a new deal and is returning to Ole Miss. There's a reason for that. Other SEC schools are in pursuit of him. But how can they do that? He's not in the portal. Tampering, everybody does it.
We just talked about this. They're tampering. Everybody's tampering.
Well, I assume Ole Miss is trying because they need to. They like him. He's a team leader. He was one of the players that spoke up to Lane Kiffin and defended the football team against Lane Kiffin's actions. And also, he plays every snap. He played every snap in the Fiesta Bowl. He's played every snap in all but 4 games this season, or all but 5 games this season. He does not come off the field. He's the green dot. He's the guy that makes every single call in the game. And again, he does not come off the field. I don't like, this is just me. I know that he's not an elite linebacker. If he's going to play at the next level, he'll have to do a lot of work on special teams. He's not an NFL linebacker, like playing the position of linebacker. He's not that. But he's a good college linebacker that does a lot for you. And this idea that, it doesn't matter. I mean, he's not that good. Yeah, whatever. Go get another one. Man, if you think that DJ Durkin and Kane Womack don't know what they're looking at when they want a linebacker and he's a bum and it's fine that he's gone, but those two guys want him, but it's fine if he leaves, I'm sorry. I just disagree with you. He's a good player, and he's a very important part of that team. Frankly, they need to add, and they've already added linebacker depth. They're going to add another one, possibly another one. They need help at linebacker. They need to be able to rotate him. He doesn't need to be playing every single snap in a game. But this idea that he sucks, but DJ Durkin and Kane Womack want him, that doesn't make sense. Those are things that they can't exist at the same time. Could you be better overall at the linebacker position, including not playing him every snap? Yes, you could. But this idea that, it's fine, no big deal. If he leaves, whatever. I think that's crap. He has done a lot for you. He's very important with communication. He would benefit by playing 30 fewer snaps a game. You probably get more out of him if he was able to be a little bit fresher. There's a reason that Pete Golding plays him every snap, unless you want to say that he doesn't know defense either. So now you got Durkin, Womack, and Pete Golding don't know defense.
That's a lot of non-ball knowers there. I mean, what can you say?
Apparently so. I mean,
so how
again,
did these leak, by the way?
I don't know. I've asked. I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
Kevin.
But these are, I guess, the incoming players from.
Don't act like he doesn't have a connection somewhere.
Yeah, but everybody there hates him.
There's probably somebody that doesn't. All it takes is one.
All it takes is one. I don't know. I don't know. There's a chance that, I mean, Ole Miss has a lot of money, but not unlimited money.
Right.
Think about what they've got wrapped up in quarterback and running back right now. Top dollar for both.
Yeah.
You just had to retain an offensive lineman. You had to retain your entire defensive line. Those guys are expensive. You had to add, they added an elite corner and 2 high-level safeties. Those guys aren't cheap. And part of me wonders if they've offered Daugherty a really expensive deal and you've got other SEC schools a little bit more to spend at the moment, saying, I got more, and I don't know. I don't know. He has not entered the portal. So until he does, this conversation is just where it is at the moment. I just don't like the actually he sucks conversation. Don't like that. Because he wouldn't play every snap in Pete Golding's defense if he sucked. He's just not the best linebacker that's ever played at your school.
You're forgetting one of the key elements of being a fan is that when a player leaves, you didn't want him anyway. He sucked. They had recruited over him. Borky, you gotta know these things. Also, when you bring a player in, he's clearly better than anybody, not only that you have on the roster, but that your rivals have. We talked about this earlier.
Yeah, like your buddy Ben Garrett. I shouldn't say this because he's putting it behind.
That's strong.
But there's a linebacker. I won't spoil paywalled information from him. There's a linebacker that Ole Miss apparently is in on. That's a high quality player, like a really quality linebacker with a bunch of years of eligibility and won a postseason accolade. Mm-hmm. I think that doesn't give away who the player is without stealing Ben's content. Mm-hmm. If they get him, that's great. Like, that is great. You still have a depth issue at linebacker if Daugherty goes. You still have these guys got to play a ton of snaps issue at that position. And, yes, you can keep adding. I mean, they're going to keep adding on the offensive line. They've got visitors coming this weekend. There's other guys out there that they can add. But, man, bird in the hand, two in the bush, right? You've got a good SEC linebacker right now currently in your hand. And you know what he's capable of. You know he understands the defense. You know the locker room likes him. All that. Maybe Alabama or Auburn offers more than you're willing to spend on him. Maybe so. Maybe that happens. But that sucks if it does. Not going to downplay this situation as not a big deal. I don't think that's accurate at all.
So you mentioned Daugherty, right? Is there anyone else that Ole Miss is nervous that might be like, I don't
Caden Lee is another one. Okay. There's a reason they have not announced his return yet. Mm-hmm. He's been fielding offers elsewhere. He's been offered stuff elsewhere. Apparently has communicated that he wants to stay.
Yeah.
But
you gotta make it right. I understand that.
There's only so much money to go around, too.
This might be kind of a message boardy question. Forgive me if it is. But if Chambliss loses this appeal, is there a possible that you see? I mean, I guess there's not enough time. But
not enough time.
Yeah. I was thinking like with Lacey, if he's like, okay, if Chambliss is gone, maybe I don't want to, go through that. But he may not have enough time. But, of course, by that same token, it goes back to what Charles Huff told us back during the fall. It's like, just drop out of school.
Could drop out of school. But because you've signed these rev share contracts wherever you go and they've budgeted for the year.
Yeah.
And so wherever you go would have to pay your buyout and then you out of their rev share. That makes that kind of untenable.
Yeah.
I mean, because if this lineman that apparently LSU is still really trying to get, he's not getting Lacey money or anything anywhere close, but LSU's going to have to pay a lot more for the player because they have to, in theory, pay a buyout for said player. So imagine a multi-million-dollar running back.
Yeah.
It's probably not in the budget for anybody come springtime or whenever. Mm. But, yeah, I mean, there's a lot riding on the Chambliss waiver. I know people like Deuce Knight's super talented. Super talented. Elite talent. He started one game and it was Mercer. Yeah, the drop-off in what you expect from your offense, if whatever happens with Trinidad doesn't happen, is deeply concerning, regardless of how talented the guy that's going to step in for him is. Sports Talk Mississippi, Pearl River Resort Studio. We'll get to some of your texts on the C Spire text line when we come back.
From the Sea, here comes more Sports Talk Mississippi.
You ready, guys?
On Super Talk Mississippi.
Welcome back, Sports Talk Mississippi, 601-879-4395. Somebody says you only have 2 to 3 days to replace him. That's a factor. No, you do not. You only have 2 days to worry about your players entering the portal.
Right.
Players don't have to decide on their destination in 2 days. They just have to decide whether or not they're going in the portal.
We talked about this earlier.
Yeah.
We covered this earlier. Check your notes. the portal ends when we say the portal closes. What we mean is you can't go in. You can absolutely come out of the portal. There'll be players picking destinations until the end of January.
Yeah.
Are you surprised then if your Daughtery, like, just go in the portal and at least see what you got out there at this point? You can always come back.
I don't think he wants to. He doesn't want to. I think it's clear he doesn't want to leave, but might just feel like he has to. I haven't spoken to him about that. I feel bad saying that out loud, but if you're not in the portal by now, you don't want to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't want to be.
When did Judkins go in? Of course, there's a little different situation.
2 windows, but it was pretty early.
Yeah.
It was very shortly after the Peach Bowl.
Yeah.
Different situation, though. There.
Obviously, yeah, but I'm just trying to think of somebody who, wasn't just like an auto candidate to go in because he wasn't playing or something like that.
Yeah, or a Winnie Watkins.
Yeah.
Winnie Watkins. Somebody says, why not just call it the Professional College Football League?
Call it whatever you want.
I mean, because the quote-unquote leaders don't want to. I mean, they want
student athlete.
I don't know how to create an expression this way that would make sense. They want to tell you it's raining. Mm-hmm. That's about as PG as I can keep it. They're still trying to tell you that it's raining as opposed to something else happening.
Right.
I hope you guys can put that together. But the president of Georgia, Joe Moorhead, had a quote today. This is to Ross Dellinger at the NCAA convention thing. If the CSC is not going to enforce the settlement, which is like the house settlement, the ref share deal. If the NCAA is not going to enforce tampering, and if Congress is not going to pass the SCORE Act, then it leaves the SEC in a position that we have to go our own way to create rules. End quote. It's the president of Georgia. I love the idea. We've been talking about that for so long. If you want to fix this, you have to set yourself up to create rules. How do you do that? Collective bargaining or something of that sort. It's a lot easier to do it with 60 teams or 50 teams than it is 350 teams, right? Because you have to get the players to agree to that. Here's my concern with that sentiment, though. It's a great one. The SEC won't be able to do it on their own. Because the allure of the SEC is not enough for a player to look at the SEC and, hold on, wait a minute, I've got a cap that's enforceable. I can't transfer the way I want to. I have to sign a 3-year contract or whatever. But if I go to the Big 12, I got this billionaire that's going to give me whatever I want, and there's no rules, and I can do whatever I want? No, I'm not going to play in the SEC. So they need others to come with them. If that's a real thing, and people have been talking about that behind the scenes for a while, a breakaway. We've been talking about it on this show for a while. Now the president of Georgia is on record talking about a breakaway. You've got to bring every meaningful program that is not in your league with you to make it work. Because if the Big Ten doesn't come with you, sorry, it ain't happening.
Yeah.
They will bury you if you do that. I love the sentiment. That's what has to happen because the NCAA is not going to do anything. But you can't do it alone. Cannot do it alone. Somebody says, whoa, Joe Moorhead's the president at Georgia? Yeah, he got the Ross Bjork falling up.
There you go. Corey Amos in the portal for Ole Miss, is that a big one?
No. It's just one of those.
I
hear you. It's just one of those.
Contrary to Richard's popular belief, I don't know the entire Ole Miss roster like the back of my hand. So
no, it is one of those.
All right.
With all due respect to the young man, it's just he wasn't going to play.
Anthony Robinson,
also
same. I'm going through the portal thread here, and I'm just seeing these names like I don't know who these people are.
And before you state fans get accusatory, we did the same thing for about 25 state portal entries. These guys aren't going to play.
Yeah,
it is what it is. What is y'all's gut on Chambliss? I would still put my money on returning.
We both lean towards he'll be back at Ole Miss next year.
But I'm not telling you it's a guarantee.
Yeah.
But that's what I lean.
Set the line on that.
Oh, gosh.
Minus 125?
Yeah.
All right.
The favorite, but...
Yeah. So I'm going to say minus 125 that the NCAA just says the heck with it and walks away, plus 250 that they win an injunction, and then plus 600 that he's in the NFL.
I don't hate that.
I've set the odds. Let them know Mr. Haydad has set the odds.
Any refs in the portal? Haydad wishes.
No, I don't.
Did you see the end of the Tennessee A&M game?
I did. I heard there was some sort of unusual... I saw something on Twitter about it, but I didn't see it.
Ball clearly knocked out of bounds,
yeah.
And on replay, they just didn't get the call right. They just didn't get it right, and it was an overtime game, and weird stuff. I would text Richard about it. He was actually on the call of that one to get his input.
I didn't know. Okay, I would have plugged in the headset and listened in.
Chase says, in some capacity, they will branch football as an independent contractor of the athletics departments while all the other sports remain, quote, amateur athletics, thus saves Title IX and non-revenue sports. That would make sense, too.
Yeah.
That would make sense, too. Rob, this is the kind of stuff you would have to do. Make a stipulation that every team that wants to be eligible for the playoff has to abide by the rules. And you can use the playoff here. If Georgia's president is serious about this, the champion of college football is not crowned by the NCAA. It's a very important thing here. The college football playoff is not an NCAA thing. It's a separate entity. The basketball tournament, the baseball tournament, all that, the NCAA puts on. Football doesn't put it on. So you already have this independent body that can be like, hey, we can actually determine eligibility for our tournament. We can decide that. I like where your head's at there.
Yeah.
That's one way to help. They've done one good thing, though. We talked about basketball earlier. One 15-day portal window starting after the national championship game for basketball.
Yes, saw that.
A little bit more concise.
Getting there. They're going to figure this out eventually, right? They're going to eventually figure it out to where everybody at least says, it makes as much sense as it can. Like right now we're in a spot where I still don't think it makes sense. I feel like, the fact that there's a dead period going on right now, this is a sprint. You got 3 weeks. Like, why is there a dead period right this second? That should not be happening. So, I don't know. They're not there yet, but they've got to figure out. Just, you're not going to make everybody happy. That's something that I feel like that's not even just like a college sports thing. That's a in this country thing. Like, sometimes you just have to say, look, we can't make everybody happy. What's the best possible solution? And the people who aren't happy, those people just have to be unhappy. But there's got to be a better way than what we're doing right this second, because what we got this second was a coach leaving his team in the middle of a playoff run. Didn't need that.
Somebody says, I thought the Big Ten already had contracts and term limits. Not yes, but no. So all their contracts do is protect the school financially. They don't force the player to stay, quote unquote, force the player to stay. And they're not multi-year contracts either. I guess they can be, but they're not. Like the NFL. The Damon Williams thing, LSU could have Damon Williams playing quarterback for them had they been willing to pay his buyout. They were not willing to pay his buyout.
Right.
So that's it, really. That's it. Ole Miss is going to have a player that's signed with Ole Miss that's possibly going to go play for LSU. They just have to pay extra to get him. They're willing to do that for him. It's less money, quarterback versus offensive lineman that hasn't started a game yet. So it's a little bit cheaper. But that's all those are. That's not portal restrictive. It's just a financial constraint. And if you looked around in college sports, it worked out for Washington, but money only gets in the way sometimes. Not all the time.
Somebody asked about let the college teams have a representative and let them be part of the rules. Well, you could do that if you made them employees.
Yeah, but that they have to be willing to do that.
They have to be willing to do that, and the universities have to be willing to do that. And I don't know who's less willing in that situation. If you're the college players, like, why would I want that? I have unlimited free agency. I can do whatever I want.
It's easier again, like I said before, there's 350 whatever Division I playing colleges when you loop in baseball and basketball and stuff. But if you're talking about 50 football programs, that's so much easier to do. It's still hard, but it's easier. Breakaway, we've been talking about breakaway for years. Maybe it's finally coming to a head. Sports Talk Mississippi. We'll be back.
Every time I look around, every time I look around, every time I look around, it's in my face.
From the Venable Glass.
What do they want? Exciting news.
Brace yourself.
More Sports Talk Mississippi now.
Gentile Apparel is the official apparel provider of Sports Talk Mississippi. Both Michael Borky and I are wearing Gentile Apparel today. I would be doubled up. My pullover is over there on the chair. It's nice in the office today. I don't need to. I'm not too cold. Borky is like a 78-year-old woman. He is just always cold. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Whether you're cold or warm, they've got a great polo, pullover, whatever you're looking for. And, of course, the collegiate collection is there for you. Makes a great gift. Whatever team you support, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Southern Mississippi, or a few dozen others, it's right there for you, gentileapparel.com. So last night in the SEC, Borky kind of alluded to it. Two other games other than Mississippi State, Alabama. Florida dominated Oklahoma 96-79. And then Tennessee wins in double overtime over Texas A&M, 87-82. Tonight on the hardwood, Ole Miss, as we mentioned earlier, a 10.5-point underdog at Georgia. Auburn is a 1.5-point favorite at Missouri.
I'm a little surprised by that one.
I'm more surprised by this next one. Kentucky, 4.5-point favorite at LSU. Kentucky will win that game by double digits pretty easily, I think.
LSU needs to win this game, or else, I mean, their AD straight up said, look, if they don't make the tournament, I'm going to fire the coach.
Exactly, so yeah. Vandy, the only undefeated team left in the conference, 5.5-point favorite at Texas. South Carolina is a 10.5-point underdog at Arkansas, so two double-digit underdogs. And really, LSU should – I don't know why LSU's – I understand Kentucky hasn't played well. Kentucky was only, I think, a 9 or I don't know, they were like a 10-point favorite against Mississippi State. Covered that easily. State last night, Alabama was a 4.5-point favorite. Like, that's stealing money. I don't know. I made a bet. Should I say this? I made a bet against Mississippi State last night.
Was it because of the science?
Well, no. Friend of the program, Matt Stahl, came down to talk to me. He was covering the game for Alabama. And he's like, yeah, State's going to easily win this game. And I just looked at him. I was like, what? He's like, Alabama's down to like 8 players. They got a bunch of injuries. I was like, how much would you like to wager? I said, if you want to put a friendly dollar on this game. And he's like, yeah, sure. Comes down with about 3 minutes to go. He's like, do you have change for a 5? And it's like, I don't. He's like, I have a $10 Chili's gift card. I'll take it. So there's no Chili's in Starkville, but next time I go to Chili's, I've got a $10 gift card.
Nice.
Because we bet against the team. We each bet on the team that the other guy covered. He thought State would win. I was like, no chance.
I was thinking about that scene from The Office.
Yeah.
Despite the league seemingly being down, it is still the strongest league in college basketball. They still lead all conferences with teams in the top 50 in the net and top 100. 69% of the SEC have done a very nice job of being in the top 50 in the net, and all 16 members are in the top 100. That is the highest percentage in the country. They have the most SEC teams in the top 80 in KenPom as well. So statistically, still the best conference in college basketball this year, which surprises me a little, but maybe it shouldn't.
Yeah, it is surprising. You would think that one of the other schools would, or the other conferences.
But man,
would,
the ACC has fallen off a cliff, man.
Yeah.
For how much they give a rip about basketball, for them to be what they are, is insane. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That they are so bad. League-wide, anyway.
Yeah. I mean, and then the Big 12, Kansas is down this year. So that's sort of, the program that has carried that conference for so long. I mean, it's just
Too much talent to go around.
Well, there's just not a great team this year. There's not a team where that just leaps out at me and goes, they are easily the favorites to win the national title.
Well, maybe Michigan.
But I mean, maybe.
And they lost this weekend.
Yeah.
Michigan's good. Arizona and Iowa State are 16-0, as is Nebraska. Nebraska ball.
Iowa State lost last night.
They did lose last night.
Yeah.
Nebraska ball was 16-0
That's what I'm saying.
going
Nebraska,
into last night.
which, by the way, they only have the longest streak of not making the NCAA tournament.
I think so.
But they're undefeated right now. So you think about what Indiana has brought to college football. It's so much different in college basketball now. There're just so many programs. They have players now.
Bum, bum, bum. That's all I hear in my head.
And that's the other side of this is, with basketball, you just need a couple guys. If you can get 2 stars and 3 decent role players, you're good. You're going to be okay.
Not here.
Yeah.
Sadly.
No, not so much this year.
30 days until first pitch.
Yes.
We are Sports Talk Mississippi in the Pearl River Resort Studio, and if you want to text the show, we would love for you to do so. C-Spire text line 601-879-4395. The C-Spire text line. It reminds you, don't text and drive. Use your voice text feature. We'll figure it out. Just be safe on the roads today, especially it was a little bit rainy here. I don't know if it's that way across the state, but a little rainfall today. When we come back, it's the college football fix, and as the portal turns, we will do that from right here again in the Pearl River Resort Studio. Your portal update, although a little less filled with news, there's still news because it's the portal. There's always news. We'll talk about it when we come back.
Your home for Sports Talk Mississippi. Now.
All right, you know what time it is. You know what this is. Our daily As the Portal Turns segment. I'm Michael Borky. He's Brian Haydad. This is your college football fix.
Like sands through the hourglass. These are the days of the portal. It's the college football fix, driven by your Mississippi Ford dealers. Built Ford tough. The Ford F-150 is the best-selling truck in America for 50 years, and there's a darn good reason why. It's the best truck in America. No questions asked. If you're looking to buy a new truck, there's only one place to go. Your Mississippi Ford dealers. Thank you for your attention to this match.
All right, hey, Dad. Ole Miss got one, and they got a crystal ball for another. We'll talk about those, but what about State? Any news on the portal front?
Nothing new today for Mississippi State.
How about that? The first day with no news from somebody.
Yeah, I mean, there's some predictions out there, but I'm gonna hold off on those. We'll see what happens. But right now, for Mississippi State, no addition since we last spoke yesterday.
For Ole Miss, a familiar name. Walker Howard entered the transfer portal with a no-contact tag. The quarterback that was an elite prospect went to LSU. Wasn't he the guy that Brian Kelly was grinding on?
Yes.
Tough look there. It was tough at the time.
Yeah.
Tougher in hindsight. But went to Ole Miss, got beat out there, went to Louisiana. Was the starter, but got hurt and just is not going to work out there either. He's on his way back to Ole Miss to be a reserve quarterback. I mean, that's what the role is going to be. I would assume this also means he wants to jumpstart his coaching career. Familiar place, familiar coaches, and, couple injuries happen, and you're the starting quarterback in the SEC. If they don't, if you want to coach, here's your opportunity to, get your quote-unquote foot in the door.
Yeah.
But this isn't a indication of really anything at all. It's not somebody that they expect to depend on, whether or not Trinidad Chambliss beats the NCAA or not. They don't expect to depend on him for meaningful snaps in 2026. With all due respect to the player.
Right.
But it's just, this is news because of the name.
I mean,
if he didn't previously play at Ole Miss, we might not even really bring it up at all.
This is, at best, Ole Miss's third quarterback.
I think so. I think so.
That's the best case scenario for him.
And then the other, it's the wide receiver position's an interesting one at Ole Miss right now because they fought off LSU to keep Deuce Alexander, and that's a big one. He's a good player. But obviously, Trey Wallace gone, DeJon Stribling gone to the NFL. Have not seen, there has not been an official announcement on Caden Lee yet. There's a reason for that. Doesn't mean he's leaving, but there's a reason that there hasn't been a formal announcement that he's staying. So they need wide receivers. They do return a good bit of their reserve wide receivers from last year. Like there's a lot of guys that didn't play because of the aforementioned that are still on roster. But they need receivers. They need Caleb Cunningham to step into the player that they think that he is. He just couldn't get on the field last year because they have NFL receivers that were playing ahead of him. They need him to be what they think that his talent is. But also a guy like Darryl Gill. He's been long rumored going to Ole Miss. Mm-hmm. Apparently, Oregon and Ohio State have gotten in late, but you've gotten the crystal ball, the predictions. Chris Hummer of 24/7 put his crystal ball in for Ole Miss. You had Pete Nako say that they're trending for the Syracuse wide receiver. He's a big-bodied wide receiver. I mean, that's the kind of guy that they need to replace, because especially with Stribling, they lost one. He's 6'3". He's got a lot of good tape against good teams. I mean, just a quality wide receiver. I don't know what the hang-up is. I don't know what he's waiting on. I don't know, because, again, people have been talking about him going to Ole Miss for a while, and he's getting the crystal ball stuff lately. Nothing official yet, but they need...
Maybe he found out what other guys were making, and he's like, I need to know more.
And then you'll have a big visit weekend on the offensive line, and I would assume a linebacker as well. I don't know about the linebacker. You need, regardless of Daughtery's situation, you need another one. But offensive line, definitely, they're going to be hosting some of them when this dead period ends. And you feel much better today than you did 2 days ago about the offensive line, but they still need to add there. And there's a couple of players that they're working on, and they need to hit on one. To complete that room. So, less newsy update, but there's your portal update for the day.
There we have it. Somebody asked about Southern Mississippi. USM did not put out anything today. They had, I think 13 players announced yesterday, but nothing new today from the Golden Eagles.
So there you go.
Yeah.
I can't believe we're already trending towards the end of crazy portal news. But that's where we are.
That's where we are at this second, yeah.
However, we did get yesterday.
We got some, what do we get?
TJ Finley.
Oh, yeah.
TJ Finley has signed with Incarnate Word, his seventh school. Seventh school.
When this does eventually crumble, he will be Exhibit A.
LSU, Auburn, Texas State, Tulane, Western Kentucky, Georgia State, and now Incarnate Word.
Never actually played at Tulane. I want to point that out. Never actually played.
No, he got involved in a stolen car situation.
Yeah.
I guess he got exonerated in.
Yeah, but why didn't he stay there? I guess he would have lost out to Mensa, though. That's when Mensa was there.
And then Retzloff after.
Yeah, he did have a chance there.
I love this.
TJ Finley is the ultimate, you can't fire me, I quit guy. Like, teams would love to process him, but they can't do it, so he just goes on to the next.
And I understand why people see this and point to the Trinidad thing. And, okay, Finley's on his seventh school, but a guy like Trinidad has to fight the NCAA to play one more year at his second?
Right.
I mean, I get that. Truly, I get that.
One piece of information for today, Mississippi State. Jerron Manning, who'd been considering an appeal and trying to get another year of eligibility under the Pavia rule, decided to declare for the draft today, so he will head to the pros.
Interesting.
It is interesting when you consider that his college career was 2 years at JUCO, 1 year at Old Dominion, 1 year at Mississippi State, and he couldn't get an extra year. Or at least didn't feel confident in his ability to get an extra year.
Yeah. Or maybe
he got a good draft.
Maybe got a grade that
made him say, "Yeah, it's time to go."
He's a good player. I mean, he was a good player,
really good player, and would have been a good if State could have gotten him back. State's done a great job reshaping their secondary. Mm-hmm. Like that should be the strength of the defense next year.
You think maybe that's part of it too? Is State kind of has some higher evaluations on other players?
I think he would have been a starter had he come back next year.
Okay,
I don't have any doubt about that. He's a really good player, but I give that group credit. And Corey Bell and Matt Barnes are two guys I thought might not be employed by Mississippi State on January 14th. Instead, they went out and they've recruited their what's off. And they've brought in good talent, and now State's defense, it's so close to being where you want. You need a pass rusher. If they could get a top-notch pass rusher, or just
those twins from Florida State hit the portal today.
That would be great. You would think Arnett would have an end with them, but we'll see. That's really all State's lacking there is to go out and get a above average getting after the quarterback pass rusher kind of guy. They've missed out on a couple in the portal. I don't think they're going to end up with Caleb Herring from Tennessee. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, if they could just get to that point, they would be doing really well. That if you get that in a left tackle, and you're off and running at that point for Mississippi State.
James asked a good question. How on earth is T.J. Finley academically? Like, could you imagine being
his transcript must be a train wreck. Can you imagine having to look at it like, what?
The incarnate word academic advisors that have to handle this for him?
I feel bad for the registrar's office at incarnate word. Like, that thing must be like this thick.
And they probably have I don't know how big incarnate word is as a school. It's probably not particularly big.
Word enrollment. About 9,000 students.
So it's a small school.
9,000 students globally. How many on the Texas campus? On the actual campus of, it doesn't really say.
But they probably have a pretty easy...
4,600.
4,600 on campus. They probably have a pretty low-key job. It's probably pretty easy in the registrar's office. They have a nice working relationship. They share a cubicle. It's like, I got this student done today. And then they slap T.J. Finley on the desk. I mean, it's just like just a stack of papers this high. It's like a bill in Congress.
What is this? Is this like 10 kids worth of transcripts? No, this is our new quarterback. What? What do you mean?
Poor Cheryl's home by 4:45 every day.
Yeah, she's calling her husband, like, just pick up pizza tonight. I'm going to be late. I'm not going to make it home in time to cook.
Oh, man. That's your college football fix. Driven by Ford and your local Mississippi Ford dealer. We'll be back.
It's time to get real.
Real sports talk for Mississippi.
It's time for you to get real with it.
Sports Talk Mississippi continues on SuperTalk Mississippi.
Welcome back, Sports Talk Mississippi. Michael Borky, Brian Haydad with you.
All right.
What happened?
No, I'm just agreeing with you. We are with them.
That is we're here.
See, somebody tried to get me on the C Spire text line. They're like, awfully misogynistic of you to assume Cheryl does the cooking, Haydad. And I just hit him back with, did you just assume Cheryl's gender? See, in this day and age, you can't assume anything.
The College Football Hall of Fame 2026 class is out, and a lot of names, I'll be honest with you guys, I don't know them all.
All right, I want you to read them off, and I'll tell you everybody I know. Here we go.
Jerry Azuma, the running back that played at New Hampshire from 95 to 98.
I don't know him, but I bet Dan Mullen does.
Oh, well.
Part of that New Hampshire Mafia.
Let's see. Jerry Azuma. Former American football player. He was a 5th overall pick. He's from Oklahoma City, actually, and went to New Hampshire from Oklahoma City.
He played corner for the Bears. I remember him. Yeah.
Yeah, played 6 years in the NFL. Was second-team All-Pro 1 year.
He's a good player. I don't remember him in college at all, though.
Kajana Carter played at Penn State from 91 to 94.
Kajana.
Yeah.
He was the first pick of the draft.
I was born in 92.
There you go. He was first pick in the draft. Had a horrible leg injury in the pros and ended his career.
Yeah, went to Penn State, obviously. Number 1 overall pick.
I know who he is.
I know, but the audience may not.
I'm trying to see the guys that I know. I haven't seen the list. So
Bruce Cawley played offensive tackle at University of Texas Arlington from 1981 to 1984.
No, I can't help you on that guy. I'm sure he was great. Congrats, Bruce.
Linebacker George Cumby played at Oklahoma from 1976 to 1979.
Again, now we're like, I was born in 75. What do you want?
Why does it take so long?
I don't know.
Let's see what he did.
I'm sure he was really good.
Oh, man, he's got pictures of his trading cards. Man, trading cards used to be so cool looking.
Yeah.
Played at Bishop Gorman High School. And,
that's a power.
Yeah. First-round pick in the 1980 draft. Spent 7 years in the NFL, including a second-team All-Pro. He was unanimous All-American in 79 and was first-team All-American in the 2 prior years. Yeah, really good college player, as it turns out.
And something to remember, I don't know if we've talked about it every year, but we've talked about the coach thing with Mike Leach, right? You got to have at least a 600 winning percentage. For a player, you have to have been a one All-American team.
How about that?
At least one All-American team. So I've had Mississippi State fans ask about Dak Prescott. He will never be in the College Football Hall of Fame. Never was a first-team All-American.
I wonder how many players don't have that distinction that, in hindsight, belong.
Is Deuce McAllister in? I mean, if you want to give me an Ole Miss example. Like Eli was, I know.
I think Deuce is in, right?
Is Deuce in the College Football Hall of Fame? Was he a first-team All-American?
I'm about to find out for you. I don't think so. It does not say that anyway.
So let's
awards and highlights, Super Bowl champion. No, he was just first-team All-SEC. Was never All-American.
Deuce McAllister will never be in the College Football Hall of Fame.
Crazy town.
Yeah. All right, who else we got?
Aaron Donald, the defensive tackle from Pittsburgh.
Everybody knows that guy.
Yeah. Those of you Ole Miss fans that went to the Birmingham Bowl that year, you watched a legend play. You didn't even know it. He didn't play well that day. Or didn't make an impact that day anyway. Garrison Hurst from 1990 to 1992 played running back at Georgia.
Outstanding player. Then had a good career in the pros as well.
Marvin Harrison.
I know all. Who? Don't know that guy. Don't know him.
He was at Syracuse from 92 to 95.
Much better pro than he was in college, but was really good in college.
Chris Hudson, the defensive back from Colorado from 91 to 94.
Vaguely remember him, but would have been on that national championship team.
Mark Ingram, the Alabama running back from 08 to 2010.
Heisman Trophy winner. He'll get in.
No, these guys are in.
Oh, this is already in.
They're all in.
Oh, these were like the finalists. Okay.
No, they're all in.
Okay.
Olin, is it Kreutz?
Kreutz.
Yeah. The center from Washington from 95 to 97.
Another guy, long Pro Bowl career in the NFL. Good player.
No, this guy, James Laurinaitis, the son of the wrestler, and the Ohio State student section would wear the shoulder pads.
That's right. He coaches for Ohio State.
Linebacker from 05 to 08.
Yeah, really good college player. Played for the Saints for a little while.
Yes, he did. Jordan Lynch, you guys may remember him. He played quarterback at Northern Illinois.
Yeah.
And they played Florida State, right?
And
in an Access Bowl, yeah. And just didn't have the horses to compete that day.
Yes.
Herman Moore, the wide receiver from Virginia, from 88 to 90.
Great player. And great pro, too. I believe he used to, I don't know if he has it anymore, he used to have the record for single-season catches in the NFL. He had like 134. I think that's gone now. I think somebody else has it now. Who else you got?
The defensive back from Kansas State, Terrence Newman, from 99 to 2002.
Great player in college. Great pro, too, with the Cowboys.
This one, no idea here at all. But the guard from West Point, Bob Novogratz. He played at West Point from 57 to 58.
Great player and apparently served our country, but I have no knowledge of him. I bet
he's got a cool story.
I'm sure he does, yeah.
Bob Novogratz.
So, at that time, he probably, when we talk about serve our country, what year did he graduate?
58. He is the most West Point-looking man that has ever existed.
Yeah. Not a hair out of place.
No, he is West Point football.
All right.
First team All-American in 1958. Doesn't mention anything about his military service, but that dude is all West Point. All right. Ndamukong Suh, defensive tackle from Nebraska from 06 to 09.
Former private commitment to Sylvester Croom at Mississippi State.
That was a whole private commitment.
Yeah, you got to love him. Great. Dominant. Maybe the most dominant college. Outside of Woodson, who actually won it, maybe the most deserving defensive player to ever not win the Heisman.
Do you know how different college football would be if private commitments had to stick?
Oh, if when you committed, you had to commit. Yeah. Would have had a lot less NCAA drama in this state because Leo Lewis would have just gone to Ole Miss. Actually, he would have gone to Alabama, now that I think about it.
Peter Warwick, the Florida State wide receiver from 96 to 99.
So good in college. Unstoppable.
And the last player, the safety from Utah, Eric Weddle.
Really good player. Good pro, too. Had a long pro career.
Coaches, 4 of them. Jim McGrath. He went 221 and 89 and 3 at Johns Hopkins from 1990 to 2018.
Won a lot of games with a lot of future doctors.
I did something with a guy named Johnny Hopkins once. Step Brothers. I can't say the whole.
Okay. It's like, where are we going? All right. Yeah, we're all on the same page.
He went to Johns Hopkins. Yeah, I
got you. We're on the same page now.
Gary Patterson of TCU. He was there from 2000 for 21 years in 2021. Won 69.6% of his games.
Nice.
And he led them in multiple conference transitions.
Yeah, they went from the WAC to the Mountain West to the Big 12.
And he did well in each one.
Yeah.
Chris Peterson won 80% of his games at Boise State from 2006 to 13 and Washington from 2014 to 2019.
We still don't know if he's a scientist or not. We're still looking, a Scientologist or not. We're still looking into that.
Really?
Yeah. Don't know. Never will.
And then an actual school that I engaged with when I was in high school to possibly go there. I could have played for this man, I suppose. Ken Sparks from Carson Newman University, a small mountain college in Tennessee. From 1980 to 2016, he won 338 games and lost 99 of them.
What's wrong with that? I think all 4 of those coaches, though, would tell you that Mike Leach belongs in.
Yes, they would.
They would absolutely do it.
But yes, they would.
Such is life.
So that is your college football playoff incoming candidate list for this year. Sports Talk Mississippi. I'm Borky. He's Haydad. So glad you guys are with us. We'll be right back in the Pearl River Resort studio.
From the Seabrook.
Number 1 for Sports Talk.
Anyone?
Anyone?
Come on, don't be shy.
Sports Talk, Mississippi.
Bingo, man, bingo.
Super Talk, Mississippi.
Welcome back, Forky and Haydad, Sports Talk Mississippi. Somebody on the text line says something is in the water in Mississippi. Been a lot of fighting at games lately. I had one in the game I was covering. Unfortunately, it's not a Mississippi problem. It's an everybody problem.
Yeah.
Youth sports, high school, and down. You have adults. Youth. What is youth? You have adults that can't handle themselves, and it's getting worse, not better. It's getting worse. I have friends that are involved in. Our son is 6, so his sports are still. Everybody's happy and cheering, and everything's great. That are in the older stages of youth sports, and it is worse than what I dealt with. And I played everything. I played hockey. I did it all. Literally every sport. I did it all.
You played hockey?
I played hockey. Yeah.
Oh wow.
We had an ice hockey league up until 6th grade, and then there just weren't enough participants, so you had to drive to Columbia if you wanted to keep playing. Mm-hmm. Hour and a half one way, and that was the end of that. Once you got older, they had to consolidate more, I guess. But yeah, I played hockey. I'm a pretty good ice skater still.
Really?
I still have it. Yeah.
Never guessed.
Every other Christmas or so, we'll go to a Christmas thing and I'll put ice skates on, and I can still do it. But it's worse now than it was then. And it was bad then, but it's worse now. Parents getting into it with each other, parents yelling at kids.
This is not just a sports thing either.
Yeah, it's a society thing. We're all getting worse. But it's especially bad in sports. It is. No doubt about it.
I don't know if they're listening to us, but SuperTalk News just tweeted about this. Boys basketball teams at Macomb and South Pike High Schools have been placed on probation by the MHSAA following an on-court fight. So maybe that's what the game he's referring to.
And the worst part is you've got parents encouraging that.
Oh, yeah.
That boy pushed you in the game? What are you going to do about it? Go fight him. Instead of, what you do? You play harder than him and beat him.
Yeah.
That used to be what we would tell people.
We don't do that anymore.
Now it's just all, let's punch each other. Yeah. It's great. It's just great. Patches on the uniform are coming, by the way. They've been working on it this week at the NCAA thing. The vote on it apparently has been delayed, but there is a lot of support in order for that to be the case. So patches on your favorite schools' jerseys are coming. And then I have a million questions after that. Number one, how valuable are the patches?
Yeah.
What is that worth? Like the on-field logos are $500,000 to $250,000. I did that backwards, but still. So what's the patch on the jersey worth? And do you sell it one for football, one for basketball?
Oh, you got to. Yeah, you can.
One for baseball? Or does a company spend enough to get department-wide?
Nah, they could, I guess, spend enough, but it would be a ton. It would be a ton. I wonder if some small businesses will be like, we could get tennis. Probably wouldn't cost much to sponsor the tennis jerseys.
Yeah, like local something or other.
Thunder and Lightning patch on the Ole Miss tennis jerseys. Little maroon patch on there. Like, what is that? Like, we paid to be there.
Yeah, like there's a big, huge volleyball facility here in the area. Mm-hmm. Huge. Mm-hmm. I wonder if they would have interest in the volleyball teams.
Possibly.
But what's the value there? I don't know. I mean, that's my first question. What's the value, and what's the market, though? Yeah. So how much do you charge, and then how many people would want that? And, I mean...
And then you got to think about, you got to break it down even further, right? Like, what is your team... a lot of college teams now, one athlete on the team has a massive social media following. Well, does their presence give you more, right?
Yeah, like imagine...
Do they have to have a separate deal almost?
Imagine what a sponsor on LSU gymnastics uniforms would have been because of her.
You know, Mississippi State 2 years ago had Briley St. Clair from the softball team. She was a big social media presence. You know, what is that worth? You know, so yeah, these are all questions that businesses and universities are going to have to answer. But you're correct. Like in this era of college football, where everything has to cost so much, universities are going to find ways to squeeze every possible dollar. And if you're a fan, right now and you're saying, "Oh, I don't like that," well, the other option is to charge you more. Charge you more for tickets, concessions, all of that stuff. So if the university can make money by putting a patch on the uniforms, let them do it. It's saving you money. You'll never notice it.
Yeah. And then who would it be? Who would it be? Because Ole Miss was able to get a corporation to buy the field with Aflac. They pulled that off. I would assume most of these will be sold, though, nationwide to a company that has a tie. What is it, Love's that bought Tennessee's field?
Yeah.
Yellowwood bought Auburn's field. You know, they got the ties there. Who would that be here? I mean, I guess Realtree's already doing a helmet for Ole Miss, but what is the jersey every game cost as opposed to a helmet for one game cost? I don't know those answers.
That's a good question. Do they do? Can you get on there? You know, can you have like a special a sticker for one game? You know, the Egg Bowl this year was sponsored by Facebook. Next year, I believe it's the same, right? You will have the Facebook logo on the field at Vaught Hemingway. They had it on the field at Davis Wade this year. You know, can they do more of that? I don't know. Again,
C-Spire's invested heavily in college football right now. I wonder if they consider that. But what you have to do in this state,
you got to buy both.
You got to do both.
3 almost.
You definitely got to do.
Yeah,
the two SEC schools. You have to do that.
Somebody on the text line. Surely you don't believe that will avoid an increase in ticket prices for us, the fans. Probably not, but maybe it's less.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah, I mean they're just going to get all the juice out of you, the lemon that they possibly can.
Yeah, they will. They're going to squeeze that thing down to the pith.
But I don't know. I mean, you can get – I would love to see how creative that they can get with those and who would be interested in what the market would be. But they are working on that. I keep telling people this, too. Like, people are upset about it. Like, oh, it'll ruin the uniform. You won't notice. After the first game, you won't notice.
No, you won't notice it at all. Like, you know, you and I watch the NBA. They have the logo. They have patches on their uniforms. They're unnoticeable. Especially, you think about watching a basketball game, and that patch.
I don't even notice.
You don't notice it, right?
No, it's just there.
Yeah, football. You're watching from a camera angle where you're not going to see them. You only see it when they do close-ups and stuff. And in the close-ups, you're looking at the play. You know, nobody's going to notice anything. It's one of those things that sounds like, you know, old man yelling at cloud, like, I'll never watch something that has a patch on the uniform, but you don't ever notice it.
Somebody says, the better question, which product would colleges not advertise on jerseys? Gambling,
alcohol,
and adult entertainment.
Adult entertainment, yeah.
Everything else is
on the table, yeah.
Frankly, I would do alcohol, too. I would. Unless you're not allowed. Unless the NCAA says you're not allowed.
Well, not only that, like, can an 18-year-old freshman have that on his helmet?
Or it would be jersey patch.
Or wherever it is. You know, can legally, because you think about like an 18-year-olds can't serve alcohol.
But they can at like private establishments.
Well, I mean, is the college football stadium a private establishment?
No, I don't know the answer.
I don't know the answer. I would imagine that the NCAA would likely want to stay away from alcohol as it is, right? Think about what a chore it was to get beer sold in the stadiums in this state. And we're going to talk about now. We're going to have the kids with Bud Light patches out there. I don't see that happening. For Mississippi State football, it should be Everclear.
So it's soccer is the most.
Nothing goes better with Mississippi State football than an ice cold glass of Everclear.
Somebody says soccer is the most aggravating. I can never tell which team is which. Yeah, I mean, the biggest soccer brands in the sport have big...
It's backwards.
Yeah.
In soccer, the ad is what takes up most of the jersey, and then the crest, the patch, is the crest of the team. So, yeah, you just got to know your team in that one. But, yeah, like Real Madrid, one of the biggest brands in the world, tiny patch right there, and then Fly Emirates on the jersey or whatever it is.
Oh, man.
I can't read that one, but the one about that bowl game, that's really funny.
Mm-hmm.
I laughed.
That's a good one right there.
That's a good one.
Somebody says the jerseys are soon to be looking like NASCAR jackets. I think they would only let you sell one. But that would be funny if you could just let it rip.
Be like NASCAR, yeah. Just have it on the visor, like Ricky Bobby did.
Trinidad Chambliss can't see.
He can't see. He's just looking around, just says Wonder Bread on his visor. He's like, I can't see anything, Coach. Just run.
But boy, does he love Fig Newtons.
Yeah. I do like Fig Newtons. So.
We'll wrap the show up with you next.
Sports Talk Mississippi.
Here we go.
Super Talk Mississippi.
Welcome back, Borky and Haydad. Ole Miss basketball tipping off here in 7 minutes or so. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Also, there's a couple of Pete Golding Sharks out there, so we'll talk about those tomorrow, too. I guess we'll find out who those are by this time tomorrow, hopefully.
Every coach should have one of those.
You see Lane Kiffin starting to do that.
What's he doing, a Tiger?
He's doing, yeah.
Every coach
Be
should
original,
have
brother.
one. Have something that they tweet that indicates a commitment or some good news or something.
Hugh Freeze's was Yahtzee.
Well, he had a bunch of them. He had the fish, too. Don't forget that.
Oh, I forgot about the fish.
I never minded the fish.
Fish is actually a good one. That was good.
He's like, I got to, and he would always try to make it like I found this one down in South Mississippi today or something, and he try to make it, fit the recruit.
Speaking of South Mississippi, North Mississippi, and everywhere in between, when we hang up, Thunder and Lightning will be on the airwaves. Actually, Ole Miss basketball will take over a lot of the airwaves.
Yeah, just going to let you guys know.
What's coming up?
If you're going to listen to Thunder and Lightning on the podcast, it will be Ole Miss. It will not be available tomorrow. I'll have to go in and change it because it will be Ole Miss basketball because that's...
We pull the recording from a station, and that's how it has to be.
Right now.
You know what you could do? I'm telling you this, get Ryan to record it in here, and you can replace the audio file.
All right,
bang, there you go.
I have to go ahead and delete the commercials, but we'll figure that out. Anyway,
it doesn't record them. You just edit them down. Bang, bang, bang. Done. It's very easy. Yeah.
We'll see about that. What are we going to do? We'll talk portal, hoops, baseball, recipes.
Yeah.
Puppies.
Somebody, by the way, says you can't also have local cannabis distributors on your jerseys.
Yeah, that's another one that would make sense. Yeah.
That reminded me of a story, Ed.
Was it a story about marijuana?
Yeah, involving Ric Flair, because we often...
Oh, I know this story, yeah.
We often get PR emails, like I got one today from somebody pitching me a guest that would talk about a quantum divine field believed to contain an archive of every soul's journey through time.
Okay, quite honestly.
I read that straight off my email.
That might be interesting.
Maybe. But I got one, and the body, the title of the email was "Get Ric Flair as a guest on your show" or something like that. And I was like, oh, heck yeah. Open the email. And it was to promote a cannabis company, which kind of don't want to do that already. Mm-hmm. But that was going to be the exclusive content of the interview.
Right. They would not allow us to talk about wrestling.
Could not ask a wrestling question.
And so what's the point?
I said no.
Yeah. Like, we're not here to do an infomercial. 10-minute infomercial. Like, we'll do 8 minutes of wrestling, and then you can talk for 2 minutes about your product. I wouldn't mind that.
That would have been fine.
That's we'll do. Do you remember? What was his name? Matt Harvey on the Dan Patrick show. Yeah, we're here to talk about Qualcomm. Like, we're not going to give you the whole segment, but we will give you a few minutes. But yeah, to have Ric Flair on and not be able, I would have gone heel on him. I would have just been like, Rick, we got this email here, and they told us that you're not allowed to talk about wrestling, but you better hang up the phone if you don't want to talk about wrestling, because here I go. I would have just started asking questions.
Maybe we should have just done that.
You could just work there like, if you had been using Ric Flair brand cannabis before your match with Ricky Steamboat at the Chi-Town Rumble, how might that have been different? So you gotta figure things out there.
Yeah, see, that's on me.
Yeah.
That is totally on me. Could have done better.
Oh, well.
Oh, well. Oh, well.
We need to, hey, by the way, speaking of wrestling, we are 17 days away from the Royal Rumble, so we'll be talking some wrestling on this show.
What is the Royal Rumble, and why is it significant?
It is a 30-man battle royal. 2 men start. Every 2 minutes, another guy comes in the ring. Last man standing gets a world title shot at WrestleMania.
Are the first 2 guys like the worst ones? Because you're making them wrestle the longest.
Those are the guys. Well, if they get thrown out, they're out. But those are usually the best 2 guys. Like, you get 2 guys in there that can work and stay in the ring for a half hour or whatever. But what makes it great is it's a gambling thing. Is you can bet on who stays in the longest, and the way we do it is a random. You pull a number, and if your guy is the winner, you win. And then we also track eliminations and who stays in the longest, and you can win a side pot on those. My daughter Aislinn won the big one last year. She had Jey Uso, and he ended up winning.
Nice.
Yeah, she could not have been more excited. She's like, I won! I think it was her first ever gambling win, so she was very excited about that.
Why is it Royal and not Royale? It's Battle Royale.
Well, that's a Fortnite thing. It's a Battle Royal back in the day.
So. Okay.
We'll talk more about that as we get closer. We're entering WrestleMania season here, so we'll see if we can't have we had David Shoemaker on from the Ringer last year. We'll see if he'll join us again. I
got to get out of here. Clear the way for Rhino so they can have Thunder and Lightning. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 3. More Hey Dad after the news.
SuperTalk Mississippi Media Production.